Hi, I'm Elizabeth. For years, I've had these weird dreams where I'm some kind of ancient princess with actual power and respect. Guess my subconscious was trying to tell me something, because my real life has turned into a total nightmare. 3 weeks ago, my husband James packed his bags while I was at a job interview, left a note saying he needed space and we'd grown apart. What he really meant was he needed space in Veronica's bed. Yeah, that Veronica from his office Christmas party who kept touching his arm and laughing too loud at his lame jokes. You need to lawyer up, Liz. Like yesterday. My brother Ryan paces around my kitchen, jabbing his finger at his phone screen. I'm texting you my buddy's number. He handles divorces all the time. I can't afford a lawyer, Rye. I can barely afford groceries. What do you mean? Your joint account had like 50 grand in it. My laugh sounds hollow even to me. Had is the key word. James cleaned it out before he left. That son of a language! I cut him off. Old habits die hard. It gets worse. The credit cards are maxed out and there's a second mortgage on the house. Ryan slams his coffee mug down. I'm gonna kill him. Get in line, I mutter, scrolling through emails on my laptop. My phone buzzes with a text from Maya. Just checking in. Dinner tonight? My treat. You shouldn't be alone. Maya's been my rock through this whole mess. Unlike Ryan, who wants blood, she actually listens. Wait a minute. I click on an email from Monarch Industries. James and Veronica both work at Monarch? Ryan peers over my shoulder. Yeah, so 3 months ago, I created this whole business proposal for a sustainable packaging line. James said it was too ambitious and I should stick to what I know. I pull up the company website, navigating to their press releases. My stomach drops when I see the announcement. Monarch Industries launches revolutionary green packaging division, spearheaded by James Mitchell. That's my proposal, I whisper, clicking through the details, word for word in some places. You're saying he stole your idea? Ryan asks. And gave it to Richard Kane. I point to the CEO's smug face in the photo, arm around James's shoulders. My phone buzzes again. It's Maya. Did you see the news about James's promotion? I close my laptop with shaking hands. He took everything from me, my marriage, my money, and now my ideas. So what are you gonna do? Ryan asks. I look at the Monarch Industries website, at Richard Kane's corporate headshot, at the tiny thumbnail of James in the leadership team section. I'm gonna take it all back, and then I'm gonna take everything they have. 2 weeks of networking and one expertly crafted resume later, I'm sitting in the lobby of Monarch Industries for an interview. The receptionist keeps eyeing me like she's trying to place my face. Elizabeth Mitchell? They're ready for you now. I've gone back to my maiden name, Walker. Small detail, but important. I can't risk James finding out I'm here before I'm ready. The HR lady barely looks up from my resume. Your qualifications are impressive, but we typically prefer candidates with corporate experience. I ran my own design consultancy for 3 years while completing my MBA. I've handled everything from client acquisition to financial projections. Corporate structure is actually simpler than juggling everything yourself. She seems surprised by my confidence. By the end of the week, I'm hired as a marketing coordinator. Entry level, but my foot's in the door. On my first day, I'm assigned to Diana Mercer, Richard's executive assistant. She's tall, elegant, and has eyes that miss nothing. Those reports need to be reformatted and on my desk by lunch, she says, dropping a stack of folders on my desk. And Richard likes his presentations with the metrics on separate slides from the projections. Got it. Also, stay away from the third floor West Wing unless you're specifically invited. Why? That's where the Golden Boys play, James Mitchell's new department. I freeze at hearing his name. Diana notices. You know him? We've met. Well, consider yourself lucky you're not working directly under him. Total nightmare. By my second week, weird things start happening. Files go missing from my computer. My presentation slides get rearranged overnight. The marketing materials I prepare mysteriously contain typos that weren't there when I submitted them. You're making too many rookie mistakes, my supervisor warns. I stay late one night to catch whoever's messing with my work. Around 7 p.m., Veronica saunters into my cubicle, flash drive in hand. Forgot something, she smirks, then does a double take when she sees me. What are you doing here? Working. Like you should be instead of sabotaging my files. Her face goes pale. I don't know what. Save it. I've already set up a hidden camera. Want to explain to HR why you're accessing my computer after hours? She backs away. James was right. You really are pathetic. My brother Ryan nearly spits out his drink when I tell him about the confrontation over beers that weekend. You're playing with fire, Liz. These corporate types don't fight fair. Neither do I. Not anymore. This revenge plan could seriously backfire. What if they find out who you really are? By then, it'll be too late. Diana catches me in the break room on Monday. I saw you handled the quarterly report issue. Not bad for someone who's been here 2 weeks. Someone altered my data. Any idea who would do that? She hesitates. Let's grab coffee after work. Not here. At the cafe across the street, Diana leans in. Look, I've worked for Richard for 5 years. He's brilliant, but ruthless. I've seen things. What kind of things? Cooking books, burying safety reports. People who challenge him tend to get pushed out or worse. Why are you telling me this? Because you remind me of myself before this place crushed my soul. She slides a USB drive across the table. Financial projections for the Green Division? Compare them with the actual expenditures. The numbers don't add up. Millions redirected from R&D into offshore accounts. James's signature on approval forms alongside Richard's. The next morning, my email is flooded with angry messages. Apparently, I sent the entire board incorrect quarterly projections showing massive losses. Someone had used my login. My security badge shows I entered the building at 2 a.m., but I was home all night. I'm sitting in the HR director's office, my hands clenched in my lap while she glares at me over her glasses. Miss Walker, falsifying company projections is grounds for immediate termination. What do you have to say for yourself? Check the building's security cameras. I wasn't here at 2 a.m. Your badge was used. Someone cloned it. I have proof I was home. I pull up my building's security footage on my phone. Time-stamped. I never left my apartment. She frowns, then picks up her phone. Get me the security footage from last night. 2 hours later, I'm cleared. The grainy footage shows Veronica using what looks like my badge. The HR director is apologetic but warns me to be careful. Office politics can get ugly here. No kidding. Diana meets me in the stairwell. That was close, but now they'll be watching you. Good. I want them paranoid. I've been digging. The Green Division's prototypes are failing quality tests, but James is pushing forward anyway. They're cutting corners on materials. If those packages hit the market, exactly. People could get sick. But Richard has invested too much of his reputation in this launch. Back at my desk, I find an email from Maya asking to meet for lunch. Her timing seems suspicious. At the bistro down the street, Maya barely makes eye contact. How are you holding up? Fine, considering my best friend is feeding information to my ex-husband. She chokes on her water. What? I would never... Cut the crap. James knew things only you could have told him. Like where I was interviewing, how I was planning to challenge the divorce settlement. He called me worried about you, said you were unstable, making threats. And you believed him? After he cleaned out our accounts and stole my business idea? Maya flushes. I thought I was helping. He said he'd make things right if he knew what you were planning. We're done. Don't contact me again. Back at Monarch, I implement my plan. First, I convince accounting to run an audit on the Green Division's expense reports, highlighting discrepancies accidentally copied to several board members. Next, I plant slightly altered material specs in James's files before his big presentation to potential investors. These numbers don't match our testing, says the lead engineer in front of everyone. James fumbles. They must be typos. In all 5 test batches? That's concerning, Mr. Mitchell. With Diana's help, I leak reports of the failed safety tests to relevant department heads. The whispers spread. In the 3rd-floor bathroom, I overhear Veronica panicking to someone on the phone. He's asking questions about the offshore accounts. We need to move the money now. I snap a picture of investment documents Diana secured from Richard's safe. They show James has been embezzling from the Green Division's budget. 2 days later, Richard calls me into his office. He's standing by the window, hands clasped behind his back. Impressive work these past few weeks, Miss Walker. Or should I say, Miss Mitchell? My blood freezes. Don't look so surprised. I always research my opponents thoroughly. I'm just a marketing coordinator. Cut the act. I know what you're doing. The question is, what's your price? Excuse me? Everyone has one. Name it. Double your salary? Triple? A corner office? A piece of the Green Division? You're offering me a share in my own stolen idea? He smiles thinly. Business is business. You have potential. Don't waste it on revenge. I'll think about it. Don't think too long. The board meeting is tomorrow. Opportunities expire. As I leave his office, I text Diana. It's on. He took the bait. The board meeting is packed. Every executive and key investor sits around the massive table as Richard takes the stage. Before we begin, I'd like to announce an exciting development. Our green packaging division has secured 3 major retail partners. James, share the details. James strides to the podium. Our sustainable packaging line will launch in over 5,000 stores next month. I press a button on my phone. The presentation screen changes to show internal testing documents, safety failures, and doctored approval forms. What is this? Richard snaps. Evidence, I say, standing. Your revolutionary packaging contains toxic chemicals that leach into food. You've known for months but buried the reports. The room erupts in shocked whispers. This is absurd, James sputters. Who is this person? That's your wife, dumbass, someone mutters. Ex-wife, I correct. And the original creator of the Green Division concept, which you stole. Veronica jumps up. She's lying. She's just bitter about... The offshore accounts? I interrupt as Diana distributes folders to each board member. Page 3 shows where the division's R&D budget actually went. James and Richard have been embezzling funds while cutting corners on materials. The double doors swing open and 2 FBI agents enter. Richard Kane, James Mitchell, we have some questions about your financial activities. 2 days later, I'm sitting in a much emptier boardroom with the remaining executives. The interim CEO, Martin, looks exhausted. Miss Walker, this is unprecedented, but the evidence you provided was indisputable. I can fix the company's problems, I say calmly. I designed the original green packaging, the version that actually works and is safe. What are your terms? Full control of the Green Division, complete creative and operational authority, and 30% ownership. That's outrageous. Without me, Monarch faces lawsuits, federal charges, and bankruptcy. With me, you have damage control and a viable product ready to launch. 3 days later, the papers are signed. I'm walking out when Maya approaches. Liz, please, can we talk? We have nothing to say to each other. I made a terrible mistake. I didn't know what James was really doing. Please, we've been friends for 15 years, and it took you about 15 seconds to betray me. Some things can't be fixed, Maya. 6 months later, I'm featured on the cover of Business Weekly. Elizabeth Walker, from betrayal to boardroom. The Green Division has become Monarch's most profitable arm. My office on the top floor has a perfect view of the city. My phone buzzes with a text from Ryan. Saw the stock price hit another record. Dinner to celebrate? I smile as I type back. Absolutely. The empire is just getting started. What would you have done in Elizabeth's position when Maya tried to apologize? Would you have forgiven your best friend of 15 years? Or do you agree with Elizabeth that some betrayals can never be repaired? The line between loyalty and self-respect can be razor thin. If you enjoyed this story of corporate revenge and justice, hit that like button. Subscribe to see more stories of people standing up to toxic individuals and winning. Share your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one.